Assalamu alaikum. I'm here tonight to help you understand your child's STAR test report that went home on Friday. So inshallah, let's take a look at it. And then afterwards, if you have questions, you can always email me, inshallah. So let's take a look at the paper that went home on Friday with your student. And here it is on the table. So this is the STAR reading report. It goes home. This is an example of one of the students' reports, and you can see the names blacked out. So in all those places, your child's name will be there. And what this report is, it's really simple. It's just a report that's based on a short reading test that your student took. And the result of that test give us just sort of a benchmark to see where your child is at now and what kind of goals they want to set for themselves till the end of the semester in terms of their reading. So if you read through this, everything is explained pretty clearly, but I just want to go over some things so that people don't get upset. Okay, so this report does not have a score on it. There's no score on this report anywhere. So there's no A, B, C, or D, or F on this test. It's just a test to show, where your child is at now. What they do have is a percentile rank, okay, which is not the same as their percentage. So for example, this student's percentile rank is 40. That doesn't mean that their score is a 40%, like 40 out of 100. That's not what that means. What it means is that compared to all the other students in the nation that are in their grade, they are reading better than 40% of all the students in the nation. That's what that 40 means, okay? So it says right here, with a percentile rank of 40, the student reads at a level greater than 40% of other students nationally in the same grade. Okay, so that 40 doesn't mean that the student got a 40% and that they're flunking reading or anything like that. It means that they are reading better than 40% of students. The percentile PR range, this is a range of numbers that in this case it's 29 to 52. What this tells us is this is where they predict if this student took the test again tomorrow, they predict that the student would get between a 29 to 52 percentile rank. And then if you look over here, let's just zoom in a little bit over here on this section. Okay, so over here we have below average, average, and above average. And the average area is all in gray over here. Okay, and this diamond right here represents your student. So each student's test, of course, will have the diamond in a different spot. So if the diamond is within this gray range, that means that your student is progressing, learning, reading, just about where they should be, or just about where the average student who's developing normally would be in 6th grade. So that's if your child's diamond is in the gray, and that means everything's going along and they're doing their job and they know how to read well, fairly well and at the expected rate for their age. If their diamond is below average in this area, that means that maybe their reading is a little bit below grade level, a little bit behind. And if their diamond is over here in the above average area, that means that they are reading at a higher level than most kids their age. So if your student is in the average range, that's fine. If they're above average, that's fabulous. If they're below average, that's okay too, because it's just telling us where we're starting out at. So, so if your student is below average, I don't want any panic to happen. We just know that we have maybe a little bit more work to do, and we need to encourage those kids a little bit more and make sure they have enough books around to get in the practice that they need. All right, moving over here to this side, you can see that there's the IRL. So the IRL is the instructional reading level. So the instructional reading level, this is where the student can be at least 80% proficient. And the first number refers to the grade, and the second number after the decimal point refers to the month in that grade. So this student is 80% proficient at grade 5, first month. So their instructional reading level is equivalent to grade 5 in the first month. And as you can see, that's average for this age. That's what the instructional reading level is. So basically, the student is currently reading pretty well at the 5th grade level. And then over here, these are the numbers that if your student is having a hard time choosing books that are interesting and that they find, pretty easy to understand, then you really want to use these numbers. Okay, so there's these two different numbers. The ZPD, that's what we call the zone of proximal development. So that means that that's the level at which if your student reads, they will be able to learn the most. It won't be so hard that they don't understand. It won't be too easy that they don't learn anything new. It's the perfect level for them to read at. As you can see, it's a range, and this range, in this case, it spans 2 grade levels, from 3rd grade 8th month to 5th grade 8th month. So your student will have their own range, and you can use that to help them choose books if they're having a hard time choosing them. There's also this Lexile level, and so these 2 levels, one of them, this level is specific to the Accelerated Reader program, and not all libraries use this number here, but the Lexile range is more common because it's used by other testing services besides Accelerated Reader, so the Lexile level might be easier to find. And again, it's just a range, so you can kind of see what that range would be here. So if your student is having trouble finding books that they feel comfortable with, this can help you and help them when they go to the library. You can talk to the librarian, and the librarian will help you to find books that are in this range. Now, if you are a Sacramento Library patron and you want to look for books online, then in the online catalog, if you look in the details section of the book, if you click on the book and look at the book details, then it'll tell you the AR level and also the Lexile level. I found that the other libraries around here don't do that, but Sacramento Library does. So those are all of the numbers that you need to understand on this report. And so inshallah, you'll be able to read through it and sign down here and put the date and return it back so that I know that you saw it. And if you have any further questions, you can always send me an email. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.